What's going on, everybody? You're listening to another episode of the Post Game Report. I am JVB. So Sony finally did an official teardown for the PlayStation 5, and it was a work of art. It was surgically done. You had an engineer doing it, so everything was flawless. So just because that gentleman was able to tear down the PS5 with surgical precision, it doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do it. The way he did it was just on point. But anyway, it showcased the cooling system, which is something a lot of us were worried about because I have the PlayStation 4 Pro, and the fan does get loud. So with this new design for the PS5, it has a huge fan, and there are a lot of ventilation holes. Excuse me. And it is just designed in a way where airflow is going to be achieved throughout the whole console. So whether it's standing vertical or horizontally, the airflow is going to be the same. Now, we've seen the Xbox Series X, and everything is packed in. It's packed in a smaller chassis. And so Microsoft went with a different design where the air is being pulled upwards. Of course, heat travels up. So you have that, and then you have a fan pulling air. Now, when I worked on elevators, we install fans that pull air out of the elevator cab. Everyone assumes that it's made to cool the elevator cab, but it's meant to take out the heat. And so this is the same exact design both consoles are going for. And the fan on the PS5 kind of reminds me of a fan that we would install on an elevator, on top of an elevator. A lot smaller, of course, but yeah, same premise. And then they showed with the PS5, they showed the expansion slot for another SSD. People are showing links to Western Digital. You could buy for as low as, I think, $150, 500 gigabytes of, I believe, 7 gigs per second read and write capacity or something like that. These SSDs are going to be super fast. The one for the PS5 is integrated in the motherboard, so that's something that a lot of us aren't accustomed to because with the PS4, the PS3, you can take out your own SSD and replace it. Now it's integrated into the motherboard, and so people are kind of worried that if something happens to the storage or the motherboard, well, if something happens to your motherboard on the console, you got to take it anyway to get repaired. So now you have two things to worry about. So we'll see. We'll see if Microsoft's doing something similar with the Series X. Both of them are going to allow us to expand the storage, the SSD storage, and also they're going to give us the option via USB to attach external storage. So even though these consoles, they right out of the gate, they're going to come out with less than advertised storage space, the option is there. If you own an Apple product, you are accustomed to buying extra storage just so you can be able to do the simplest things and save, in this case, video games and things of that sort. A lot of people are going to, as always, with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, they're going to make videos, they're going to save photos, all that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how much more affordable, or affordable in this case, because $150 is still $150 for extra storage. And of course, on the Microsoft side, they have a proprietary SSD that you can buy for a little over $200. It's 1 terabyte. They also announced that you can, in the future, purchase third-party SSD cards. We'll see how long that takes. And we'll see, because of the design, how much cheaper in price it's going to be, or maybe build quality. We have to see. This is not going to happen right away. It would be nice, but we'll see. So there's liquid cooling on the CPU. And that's really cool. And supposedly it took them 2 years to find a way how to keep that from corroding or damaging the internals. So as you can see, Sony took, especially with Mark Cerny, all the tech talk he did during the summer, and everybody was confused and disappointed with his tech talk. But now you're seeing exactly what he was talking about. You are seeing how the heat, the design, this is a custom heating system as well. The freaking heat sink is enormous. And you can see what he was talking about. You can see the difference between someone who knows how to design a console and what everybody else on the internet who claims to know more than Mark Cerny. You can see the difference. A lot of people were saying, no, that can't be done. That's impossible. He's lying. Now we are seeing exactly what the benefits of that dedicated input-output system is doing with the customized SSD system that the PS5 has, and how their customized cooling system is going to work. And of course, that all blends in with the design of the console, of the chassis, which looks slick as hell when compared to the Series X. Now, the Series X is more of an industrial look. It's going to fit into your entertainment system vertically or horizontally with no problem. And they have their own cooling system, and you have to trust that the cooling system is going to work. These are architects, professionals, and very intelligent people making these consoles. So even though one might look, whereas the Series X looks like you're watching somebody stuff a sausage, it might work, right? The cooling might work. And we've heard stories of overheating or the console being really hot. Well, the job of the fan is to push hot air out of the console. So if the hot air is coming out of the console, that's good. That means it's not staying in. It's pretty plain and simple. So if it's really hot, well, if the console itself is not hot, then that's a good sign. Now, someone was holding up the custom SSD card that he pulled out from the back of the Series X. He said it was really hot. So we'll see. We'll see if that's something that is going to be fixed in the final product, or if that is just going to be a thing, because it has to go plug directly into the motherboard. So whatever heat is being pushed up from the bottom to the top has to pass all of the components on the Series X, and part of that component is going to be that portable or that expandable SSD that we have to buy. Not that I'm going to buy it. I'm not buying me a Series X right now until Halo is like on point and the best Halo ever. If Halo Infinite is a masterpiece, then I will buy a Series X. But I'm going to get me a PS5 for the meantime, because I know that the software that they've given me for the last 20 plus years has been on point. They have the history. You saw with this teardown for the PS5 that they have the people that take this serious. Whereas with Microsoft, not Microsoft, with the Xbox division, you don't see that sense of professionalism and pride. You see a lot of talking on Twitter, a lot of jabs. You saw that the UK Xbox Twitter account made a little jab towards the PlayStation 5, because you have to unscrew the base in order to put it horizontally. So, little jabs like that, and they eventually took it down for whatever reason. So you see stuff like that. And hey, it's very, very reminiscent of the console war between Sega and Nintendo back in the days when Sega was launching its Genesis. So it's kind of cool to see that again. But in the long run, it's one thing to see it from the Twitter accounts, but it's another to see it from the executives who actually are supposed to, not that they are supposed to act a certain way, but you expect them to carry themselves in a different way than everybody else. You don't expect them to act like the rabid fan base. And we see that on the Xbox side a lot more. Way more, actually. You don't see any Sony execs acting crazy. Shuei Yoshida, he interacts with the fan base, but he does it in a very cool manner, and he comes off more as a genuine person, whereas the other guys, I'm not going to even mention their names, they act like a bunch of jerks, like a bunch of fanboys. So, yeah, it's interesting times. Now that we have these teardowns, it's just an indication that these consoles are close to coming out in the market. Unfortunately, not everybody's going to get them because of the pre-order madness, and some people have actually received notification that some of their pre-orders are in back order. For all I know, Target could send me an email like that at any given day, so I'm not out in the clear yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to these consoles, even though I'm not getting a Series X right now. I do wish for success with that console, and I know the PS5 is going to be, forget about it, the hot item this holiday. So it's great. It's a great time for gamers. Great time for gamers who have been gaming since the 70s like myself and has seen the progress that these video game consoles have achieved, how far they've come. It's just something to marvel at, something to be proud of, something to be in awe of. So anyway, I'm going to end this. You guys let me know what you think of the new consoles, which one you're getting, and what you thought of the teardown. So I'm JVB. Talk to you later.